Good evening and welcome to tonight's regional news. We now start with news from Trinidad and Tobago. The Trinidad and Tobago-based Caribbean Airlines (CAL) urged customers to disregard a video circulating on social media regarding a travel advisory. While the airline gave no particular details, it said that the travel advisory for Caribbean Airlines is outdated and without merit. The airline, which flies to several Caribbean islands as well as Venezuela, Cuba, the United States, and Toronto, among other destinations, said the video is over 6 years old, and the airline asks its valued customers to please disregard this outdated social media posting. Caribbean Airlines will be participating at the 2020 edition of the Caribbean Travel Marketplace, which is jointly hosted by the Bahamas Hotel and Tourism Association, Bahamar, and the Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association, CHTA, in Bahamar, Bahamas from the 21st to the 23rd of January. Caribbean Airlines is a gold sponsor of the event and will have a corporate promotional display at the Bahamar Performing Arts and Convention Center. Commenting on the airline's participation at Caribbean Travel Marketplace, Caribbean Airlines Chief Executive Officer Garvin Madeira stated, I quote, "This is an excellent platform for Caribbean Airlines to network with industry partners and to connect with segments of its customer base to promote the Caribbean Airlines brand." End of quote. We now turn to news from Jamaica. Director of the Road Safety Unit, RSU, in the Ministry of Transport and Mining, Knut Hare, is lamenting that since the start of the year, 25 people have lost their lives on the nation's roads up to yesterday. We ain't gone 25 days into the year yet and 25 people dead already. We need to shape up, end of quote, Hare declared. He expressed fear that if motorists don't take heed, the number of road fatalities this year will surpass last year's. In 2019, 437 people died in road accidents, and the RSU director cautioned that it can be worse in 2020 if Jamaicans don't take heed. And for our final story, CARICOM chairman and Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley has drawn a clear line between herself and Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness and other Caribbean leaders planning to meet with United States Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, criticizing the sidelining of the regional bloc as an attempt to divide and rule. Mottley's sharp rebuke of her Caribbean ally was followed late yesterday by criticism by Jamaican's opposition spokesperson on foreign affairs Lisa Hanna, who warned the Holness administration to abide by previously coordinated decisions taken on Venezuela, which is expected to be on the agenda of Pompeo's meeting with Holness and an undisclosed select group. Hanna cautioned that CARICOM multilateralism should not be sacrificed on the altar of expediency. Addressing a gala to celebrate the centenary of the birth of the late Barbados Prime Minister and regional integrationalist Errol W. Barrow on Saturday night, Mottley revealed that her decision to spurn the invitation to dispatch her foreign minister to the meeting in Kingston on Tuesday was based on principle. Jamaica's Affairs and Foreign Trade Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith said last week that Pompeo's two-day working visit January 21 to 22 was a symbol of Washington's engagement with the Caribbean. Pompeo will hold talks with the cabinet on the second day of the visit and is expected to give a policy speech on the Caribbean region's critical importance to the United States and the country's renewed commitment to closer ties based on shared values, the ministry said. And that was all for tonight's regional news. Thank you for joining.